You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
And today on our Friday review, I'm going to be going through 3 different recommendations. So kind of all over the map here today. Really fun episode. I get to talk about a few things that I've been using in my practice for quite some time now. And the first one is talking about how if you are currently on a statin drug, basically you have high cholesterol and you prescribe medication to help lower your cholesterol. Well, what a lot of times, although it's becoming much more popular, doctors are not telling you, typically non-functional medicine-based doctors, a lot of PCPs, although maybe well-intentioned, just are not letting you know that if you are taking a statin-based drug, you are most likely being depleted of your coenzyme Q10. And why does that really matter? Well, coenzyme Q10 is essential for not only heart health, your ability for that heart to function with lots of energy, but also DNA synthesis, brain health, and a lot of other neurodegenerative diseases. That simply means diseases that use your actual nervous system and keep it nice and strong. So I'm not going to go into how that happens today specifically, but I do want, and I will, I'm going to spend an entire episode just talking about how cholesterol really is this funny disease that people are taking medications for that really there always is an underlying root cause. I've never met anyone in my practice that we cannot help rebalance their body and naturally lower their cholesterol as a subsequent act of getting their body healthy. So really important though, if you're currently taking a statin, before you naturally rebalance your body, you absolutely must be taking coenzyme Q10 or hopefully something in what's called the ubiquinone form. So ubiquinol is a natural supplement. It's basically ubiquinol is what is the active source or the unoxidized source after coenzyme Q10 has gone through its processes. So it's much better for what's called biosynthesis or much better absorbability as an antioxidant than just coenzyme Q10 alone. So why does this even matter? Well, the same process of how cholesterol is made and manufactured, coenzyme Q10 goes through that same process. So basically, statins don't lower your supply of coenzyme Q10 as a consequence or side effect. It actually lowers it as a direct effect of the particular drug, of the statin drug. So my advice, of course, is lower your cholesterol naturally, right? But don't get it to a point where it's too low because that causes all sorts of other effects in the body. But get it somewhere between 160 to 200, right around that range is perfectly acceptable. Keep your LDL below 110 or at least below 130. I'm talking about, you need cholesterol. It's so important for creating cortisol in your body, for decreasing inflammation, or at least helping with the arterial-based inflammation, for creating testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. It's a precursor to all of those things, DHEA. So it's vitally important for your health. However, obviously, we don't want it at 275. We don't want your LDL at 200. So those are all things to look at. Now, if you're on the statin drug, again, before we help you rebalance that, please do take ubiquinol, because if you're not, you're actually causing your heart to become weaker and weaker and weaker every single day by not getting this ubiquinol-based substance. This is peer-reviewed literature. It is literally all over PubMed, all over Google Scholar. You can check it out for yourself. There's been 1,000 or more articles written about it. So really, really important. And just keep in mind that if you're using vitamin E for your heart and a lot of other things, it's just not going to work as well if you're not getting in this coenzyme Q10 or this CoQ10 ubiquinol-based product. There's a bunch of different brands. I'm going to link up some of the ones that we like and that we use in my own practice in the show notes. And also just a great overall product that you probably heard me mention before is a product called Neurochondria. Again, I'll link that up in the show notes. But so many good ones. You just have to make sure you're getting a good quality source of ubiquinol. The difference between that and, again, coenzyme Q10 is the absorption. The bottom line is some people say, well, it's 300 times better absorbed. Some people say it's 90% better absorbed. It doesn't matter. Here's why. Because no matter what, ubiquinol is better absorbed than the coenzyme Q10 or ubiquinone-based substance. So please just take ubiquinol. You're going to get more absorption. You're going to get better results. You might as well just take that. All right. Let's move on to topic number 2. And keep in mind, I'm going to be back with a full episode on a Total Wellness Tuesday about how to naturally rebalance the body, and your cholesterol will come back within range every single time. There's only about a half a dozen reasons why your cholesterol gets high, and we'll talk about all of them, even genetic-based ones. So I'll have you covered on that one. All right, next topic is a fun book. So some books are like really serious and intense, and some books are just more, they're lighter. And this one is by Dr. Mao. It's called Secrets of Longevity, Hundreds of Ways to Live to be 100. And it's a fun book. It's a bunch of great little topics. And literally, I think this book, I have it right here in front of me. It's probably about 300 pages long, and every page is just kind of like its own little topic. You could just read one page a day, and it might take you 1 minute to read the page. It's just these short little things. And so, for example, one says on page 127, live long without arthritis. And it says more than 40 million Americans, 1 out of 6, have some form of arthritis. And then it just goes to show how it's not a normal part of the aging process. This shouldn't happen. And then he talks about, it's important to get some low impact exercise like weight training, important to get antioxidants like vitamin C, A and E, get plenty of sunshine for vitamin D, eat a lot of enzyme rich foods that contain bromelain like pineapple that contains that, papaya and pineapples. What else? Supplements like glucosamine and chondroitin. I would add also MSM, hyaluronic acid. Some of those work absolutely fantastic for rheumatoid arthritis and osteoarthritis as well. And then just making sure that, if needed, that you do avoid some of the nightshade-based vegetables. Those will also help with inflammatory-based factors. Now, of course, rheumatoid arthritis has to be looked at from a gut dysfunction standpoint as well. But again, these are quick tips. These are really great things to look at. Just one more that I'll pull out is on page 242. It talks about a backwards massage, and essentially what he's talking about is something that we don't really know about and uses in this country. I learned it overseas. Is called a lymphatic-based massage. And it simply means stroking or pushing the blood, stroking the flesh, the skin towards the heart instead of away from the heart, which is very different than the massages that we typically get in the U.S. We do them here at our wellness center, Cabral Wellness Institute. And because we know it's detoxifying, it moves that lymphatic system. And that lymphatic system only moves and runs when you're exercising, when you're walking, when you're on a rebounder, jumping up and down, or when you're doing massage or dry brushing. So really helpful tip. I really enjoyed it, hearing that. And of course, manual lymphatic drainage is just a great form of massage that everybody should be doing. I like to say every day with maybe a little bit of a 5-minute self-massage, and then every couple weeks if they can get to see a practitioner that does it is just fantastic. So a fun little book called Secrets of Longevity, Hundreds of Ways to Live to be 100. And that's by Dr. Mao. It's Xing Yi. I probably butchered that name, and I apologize in advance for that. So the last one is a study that just got popular, I think, last week, and it was from, essentially, it was in New York Times. I believe that's where it was originally published, from the Times, and it was on the Biggest Loser contestants. Most people know about the Biggest Loser and how people gain, like they can lose first, like 30 pounds their first week. Well, what they studied was 13 out of the 14 past contestants actually regain the weight except for one person. And they kind of go into it, and they show that being on right away a calorie deprived diet of only counting calories and not necessarily the quality of the food, and over exercising in the beginning lowered people's metabolism. And I absolutely do agree with that. However, what it doesn't talk about is how healthier forms of weight loss, where you're increasing vegetables, you're increasing fruit at the right time, where you're increasing the micronutrients, which is the vitamins and minerals, not just the macronutrients, which is just counting calories, has helped people in my practice and many others. We're not the only practice, of course, help people keep the weight off. And now, so I've been doing this since 1996, full-time since 2000. And I can tell you, I have a lot of data, far more than this study, which was 14 people. So we've completed over 200,000 client sessions, and we absolutely do have people stick with it. The issue is that some body types, the endomorph or the kapha body type, are larger body types. You can't compare them to a vata body type that can eat more calories, burn more calories on their own naturally. So here's the bottom line. You have to look at each person as an individual. This was obviously somewhat of a sensationalistic article looking at a sensationalistic reality TV show called The Biggest Loser and studying 14 people. I mean, what happened to all the other people on the show? Why not look at all 300 to 400 people that have been on the show and look at them as well? And it talks about binge eating and it talks about mindset. All of that is very important. Like, what if the person came into all of this with struggles around foods, right? And an unhealthy relationship with foods. Everything needs to be studied. Let's stop looking at sensationalism and use our own common sense. Let's not try to lose everything all in 1 week, right? And let's look at a healthy nutrition plan, a healthy exercise plan, not exercising for 6 hours a day or taking someone who's 400 pounds and putting them on a 1,200 calorie a day diet. That doesn't make sense for the long run. So I just want you to start to look at studies on your own and look through it, right? Look through it for what it really is. And it's just to make headlines, right? It's sensationalistic. Eat healthy, exercise normally, and you will lose the weight. You will keep it off, but more importantly, you'll be healthier and you'll keep it that way for life. That's what's most important to me, is I want to see people, yes, I want to see them lose the weight so they feel great, but also I want them to be healthy for life. That's what it's all about. Thank you everyone for tuning into another Cabral Concept. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stevencabral.com/courses.